This what happened when you don't pay your rent. I ain't paid rent about 7 months.
When I first heard of Section 8, it sounded like I hit the jackpot. It would ruin my life.
You see Trump say taking that Section 8?
Every headline, every shutdown, same story. Another check cut, another excuse printed. Section 8 systems ain't collapsing by accident. It's exposing how comfortable people have gotten living off of survival. Today, we're watching real evictions and the ones that reality kicks people out of denial. Let's get into it.
Look how they were living. I should have known they were living messed up when her breath smelled like it smelled. Look at the bathroom. The audacity of something. About to fall through the floor. Look how they living. They be coming in here with mud on their shoes. A mess. Nasty. Nasty. Nasty.
7 months, no rent, but still got energy to complain. That's not struggle, that's strategy. When the free ride ends, accountability shows up with keys.
Section 8 is being cut by 43%. Billions is being taken from it, like Texas or Florida. Chances are they're not giving you your voucher back, okay? Here's the other thing. If you do get a voucher, you have 2 years. People are staying on Section 8 for 6 years. Because if you're able-bodied, and able-bodied working people means that it doesn't matter if you have kids, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 kids. You're always game time for you.
43% gonna mean half the excuse is gone too. 2 years to figure it out is a deadline, not a discount. The gravity train is switching to Uber. You either drive or walk.
The letter stated that in December, your voucher would end because the funds are running out or there's no more funds. Several people in Greenville, South Carolina, that just got on the Section 8 list because they just opened up the list once again for families that's struggling. So y'all let me know if y'all have heard or have y'all seen a letter or have your caseworker said anything. He said that in Georgia, there will be no funds paid to your rent because of the shutdown.
That letter ain't mail, that's a mirror. You can't plan a future off a program that pauses every election year. Bills don't care who won the vote.
Last time I talked to South Carolina, they said that they haven't heard anything about that. I don't know about anybody else, but do what you have to do. If you got children at work, hey, you're going to have to start paying this. If you don't have a job, nobody should be laying around nobody's house. I don't know, nowhere where you can stay for free.
Even roaches earn rent crumbs. If you ain't contributing, then you're contaminating. The roof costs more than food stamps ever will.
And public assistance, it sounded like I hit the jackpot. Like, I'm finally here. I finally get to live a good life, rent-free. I get to keep my money in my pocket because I get my rent paid.
It starts off as a gift and ends as a grip. Free rent feels good until you realize freedom ain't included in the lease.
Little did I know that it would ruin my life. I got Section 8 after I had my second child. I applied to all these wait lists and I finally got it. And I got to choose the neighborhood I wanted to live in. I got to pick the house that I wanted to live in as long as it fit the budget.
You get to pick the color of the walls, but not the limit of your life. That's not freedom, that's furnace control.
I got to choose how many bedrooms that I got. It was so wonderful. At that time, I didn't know that my then boyfriend, who already had a felony, would not be able to live with me anymore. So now, us living together had to be a secret. When it was time for inspection, I was hiding his shoes and hiding his clothes and hiding his belongings so that they wouldn't know that there was a man living with me, which caused tension. It caused, some resentment.
How are you gonna build love in a house that outlaws honesty? That's not help, That's a relationship on probation.
You know, and I'll talk about that later. But at that time, I didn't know how it was causing a separation between us. But we did it. You hear a knock at the door, and you wondered if it's management or maintenance or somebody who gonna see him there. So, again, we would hide and sneak around and make it seem like, you know, he didn't live there. You know, and then it became one of those things that you don't live here. You can't even be on a lease. Not seeing how it would later on tear our family apart in many ways.
When love turns into a liability, you're not living. You're serving time with benefits. That's how trap stays full.
Hey guys, so I just seen another video, and it was, the lady was basically talking about how like Section 8 is a trap, like how it ruined her life. And I actually had this conversation with my mom. So we was talking about how Section 8 is like a trap to keep you like in poverty. Cause you know, like when you have Section 8, you gotta make a certain amount of money. Like you have to make a certain amount to stay there. Like you gotta be broke.
That's the fine print nobody reads. You have to prove you're failing to qualify for help. It's not a trap. It's a treadmill disguised as charity.
So y'all, guess what? This is exciting news. I'm gonna tell y'all something. 3 years ago, 3 years ago, I signed up for Section 8 because somebody told me like, hey, sign up for Section 8. Like, you know, and who don't want to try it out? Like, who don't want to run it up? Please, some of y'all be playing with the game. Anyways, Section 8 called me. Was it last month? It was last month around March 2nd. I don't remember. It was last month. And my deadline to find a home, I was qualified for it. My deadline to find a home was May, I think 19th of this month. I can't remember. Y'all, I no longer qualify. I'm able to call them. I need to call them this week, or I'm going to call next week. I'm going to record it and let them know that I don't need y'all no more. And
that's the real flex. Not designer bags or refund checks, but telling the system I'm good without fear.
It's a blessing to be able to say that I'm not on food stamps, my kids aren't on Medicaid, and I don't need Section 8.
That's the glow up no one wants to clap for. The moment you outgrow excuses, freedom don't come with perks. It comes with peace.
It's your friendly Section 8 director coming to you today to talk all things Section 8. So today I'm going to give you a quick story time about a time when a young man came in to report his baby mama frauding. So he came into the lobby, and he indicated that, you know, he had been living with this young lady, and that she failed to report that he was living with her, and that he was working. And
that's when loyalty turns into leverage. Love don't survive when rent becomes revenge.
She didn't report to us that he was working, and so, you know, she was frauding the system. And keep in mind, he is the father to her children. So he's coming in, he's running it down about everything that went on with them. And so, you know, I politely invited him into my office, and I allowed him to continue on, you know, telling me what was going on between he and the young lady. And so, you know, after he finished, you know, I said to him, I said, well, we're going to call him Mr. Snitch. I said, well, Mr. Snitch, I said, I'm going to step outside of my director's position. I said, and I'm going to talk to you, you know, woman to man. I said, if I terminate her from the program, I said, do you have somewhere for her and your children to reside once she loses her Section 8? I said, are you going to provide her assistance, rental assistance, because she won't be receiving any more rental assistance from the Section 8 program. I said, are you concerned that she may be homeless because she will lose her Section 8? And he just sat there, you know, he answered no, you know.
Everybody loves to expose until consequences show up. Snitching looks righteous until your own reflection goes homeless.
to the questions. He didn't have a unit or a house he could provide for her and his children, and that he'll try to assist her in paying the rent that we, Section 8, was affording her on a monthly basis. I said, so you might want to think twice before you come down to snitch on your girlfriend. I said, because not only will it be detrimental to her, I said, but it's detrimental to your children as well.
She gave him game, but most people ain't listening. In today's world, the grudge is louder than the guidance.
So people, just be careful when you're out there. Report the income. We don't mind that, you have your baby, your child's father, your children's father living in a household. We don't mind that at all. We just want you to let us know so that we can include the income in the household. Please don't get caught frauding the system, because again, like I indicated in my last video, it will be somebody who who will tell on you and cause you to lose your Section 8 voucher. Now you know.
And that's how poverty keeps recycling. Not because of money, but because of envy. It's not the lack of funds, it's the lack of foundation.
Gotta look at the comments. This one says, ladies, less is best. My auntie taught me a long time ago to never let a man know all of your business. He doesn't need to know what and how you move. Delightful. So bitter. He wanted to mess up his children's living arrangements. Wow, thanks for having a heart, because that man was heartless and only probably worried about another man moving in with her. Okay.
So, had an issue over the weekend and kind of got some more information about it. So, okay, we had some tenants, and this has been a reoccurring problem. I want to know if anybody else has noticed this. I mean, it's getting more and more common. Okay, so I'm noticing that there's more and more Section 8 tenants that are trying to open an illegal, child care center in a Section 8 house or apartment. Okay, it's super illegal. It violates all Section 8 rules. You're not allowed to do that. But people keep trying to, just in the last year, I think I've had to evict 6 people.
Everybody wants to be an entrepreneur until it's time to read the rules. You can't claim struggle, then hustle from it.
Or 6 families, however you want to say it, 6 households, okay, that were trying to run this illegal child care center out of their house.
Wow.
Okay, they didn't have a business license, they didn't have anything. They just put a sign out, started advertising.
That's not ambition. That's chaos disguised as a grind. You can't build a business inside a bailout.
And I don't know, is this only happening in Tulsa? Is anybody else seeing this go on anywhere else in the country? That's not the only Section 8 scam that we've been seeing a lot recently. So what we'll see is a tenant will have a Section 8 voucher and they'll rent the house, but then they'll never actually move into the house. So instead, what they'll do is they'll sublease it out to someone that is a cash tenant, right? So they're, number one, not paying any rent because Section 8 is paying it, and then they're collecting $1,000 a month and pretending to be a landlord, right?
That's government assistance gentrification, flipping property into a profit until the cops flip the lock.
Right, so I'm just wondering if anyone else has seen this, anyone else has heard about this. Why is the news not talking about this, right? I've tried to make news stations aware of it. Nobody seems to care. And I mean, it's not like this is a 1 or 2 time thing. This keeps happening. Every month I'm having to evict someone that violated these policies.
The system ain't the villain. The mindset is. When you turn help into a hustle, karma starts charging you rent.
Police for the Cleveland Metro Housing Authority told me Renetta Walker lived in this Euclid home on Morris Avenue. She received a housing voucher when she didn't need one. CMHA claims she provided false information and bilked taxpayers out of more than $55,000. Deborah Washington lived in this home on Marne Avenue in Cleveland. CMHA police explained to me she also stole over $40,000 in housing.
Everybody want to be a scammer till it's time for sentencing. The same people yelling the system is rigged be the ones rigging it.
housing vouchers by providing false information. A Cuyahoga County grand jury indicted her along with 6 others this week.
I can tell you that we probably receive anywhere between 100 to 125 allegations every year regarding some type of fraud that is going on.
That's not survival. That's a strategy gone sloppy. They playing Monopoly with real people's money.
I tell you the truth. You see Trump say you taking that Section 8? You see that? You see? That partial rent you be paying? You gotta go pay full rent like everybody else.
When politics start talking evictions, panic away follows, but the truth is, he's not cutting off homes, he's cutting off habits.
You heard me? So don't go to talk about no homeless shelters. Trump finna take that Section 8 from you, Section 9 and 10. And he need to take the sections from the club from you too. Cause that where you at with your Section 8 houses, always in the section in the club, and go home to your Section 8, pulling up in your Infinity truck or your Benz C300, pulling right up to your Section 8 house.
How you celebrating luxury off of survival? You can't pop bottles and borrow your blessing.
And your C300 after you just left the section in the club, popping bottles. See, you know that's why Trump taking your Section 8 from you. Then you'll be in Section 9 and 10. See?
The joke wrote itself. Whole lifestyle built on sections, but nobody wants to be part of the solution.
You literally could go get a job and actually afford unsubsidized rent, not being subsidized by the taxpayer. You could go do that. You are literally choosing not to because you want to build your business.
That's the new hustle, ambition without income. They call it entrepreneurship. I call it unemployment with Wi-Fi.
Why the are you allowed to leech off the taxpayer?
I'm not leeching off of anybody.
Yes,
and
you
I
are.
have tried.
Tried what?
My last job, I had a really bad situation.
Tell.
Where I was interviewing men in particular, and every time I got on the screen with them, they got their little willies out and started whacking him.
Internet filled with interviews and idiots, this generation working remotely from reality.
So they wanted to stop abortions so they could cut off SNAP benefits and stop Section 8. And y'all know how many men is happy about this? They want women to stay in survival mode, to stay in a low frequency, so we would never rise and become our most divine self.
Control don't always wear a suit. Sometimes it wears compassion. Keep people broke and you'll never need bars to keep them contained.
Baby, I keep hearing them talking about the food stamps on pause, but why nobody ain't talking about how they pause that Section 8? How they pause that HUD? Huh? How they pause that low-income housing? I don't care where you at, they done paused it. And why nobody not talking about that? Why nobody not talking about how they paused that daycare caps? Why nobody not talking about that? How that's on pause? This is a domino effect, baby.
One policy at a time. One family at a time. Poverty ain't an accident. It's an assembly line.
Why they're coming on here making a video saying that, oh, we're glad that they cut the food stamps off because we're sick of putting food in your children's mouth, and we're sick of putting a roof over your head. So we glad that Trump has cut the food stamps off.
They cheering like they not next. When the system cuts the weak, the middle gets smaller too. Y'all just ain't noticed it yet.
Baby, this is a domino effect. You so much you sick of putting something in somebody else's mouth and, you sick of feeding people. You sick of putting a roof over the head. This is going to be a domino effect. Because if the Section 8 is cut off, then the landlord who rent the house out on Section 8, who make the income from Section 8, they're not getting paid. Okay? If the caps is cut off, the person who owned the daycare, who depend on caps for their daycare to run, to pay their bills in their daycare, they're not getting no money.
Exactly. When survival is an ecosystem, one cut bleeds everybody. You think it's safe because you're not struggling. Wait till your taxes start working double shifts.
Trump said If you are on Section 8 of housing, you only get 2 years. Now, I know a lot of y'all don't want to hear that, but understand the matter of the fact is that a lot of people get on this Section 8 and get this housing, and they sit on it for years, and they never do nothing else with their life. They get content and comfortable with what's going on in front of them. They sit up, they buy bags, they got the most expensive cars, they buying their kids all these expensive clothes instead of saving money.
2 years ain't punishment, it's preparation. But most folks don't hear the deadline, they hear doom.
Putting this money up to progress, to get ahead in life, it's like somebody asking you for a loan to get ahead on their bills, but then they never get ahead on their bills because next month they need your help again. They need your help again because they really tricked all that money off. See, the thing is this. You need to get up off your ASS, do something with your life, and stop trying to sit around on housing in Section 8 for the rest of your life.
That's not hate. That's true fatigue. The problem ain't poverty, it's comfort with it.
Because it's not going to always be there. What are you going to do if the economy just drops right now? What are you going to do if they take housing in Section 8 away and you've been on there for 4 or 5 years and you haven't been doing nothing? Yeah, we got single mothers out here, but the thing is this. Nobody told you to lay down with a ain't nothing man. Nobody told you to do that. Nobody told you to not finish school.
That line gonna hurt some feelings, but accountability always sounds like disrespect to the undisciplined.
Nobody told you to be content with your life and not want to have your own business, get established. Nobody told you that. Nobody told you that. Y'all say, oh, the old people was once young as well. Why didn't they do something different with their life so when they got older, that they would be established? Man, God bless y'all, man.
Generational struggle becomes traditional when nobody breaks the pattern. Pain passed down like inheritance.
Hey guys, yes, it's true that the White House is proposing to eliminate the Section 8 voucher program. And what they want to do is basically put a time limit, which is a 2-year time limit on all able-bodied citizens. So if you're able-bodied, meaning that you're not a veteran, you're not disabled, you're not elderly. If you're able-bodied and can work, and you're going to have a 2-year time. That's what they're proposing.
That's the real wake-up call. Help is turning into homework, and not everyone is going to pass the test.
Cutting these programs. These are the proposed. What they're going to do, they're proposing to cut the Section 8 voucher program and give block grants to the state. And the state's going to get less money, so whatever they do with the money as far as in with housing, but they're trying to eliminate the Section 8 program and give a time limit.
So now your future depends on your zip code. Hope you live in a generous state, not a budgeting cutting one.
I knew there was going to be a time limit, but 2 years? No, I'm thinking 5 years. But no, they want to do 2 years. And they're giving time limits. I don't know if you all know yet. They're giving time limits on SNAP benefits. They already started here in Texas. If you are working or not working after a certain amount of time, you cannot get SNAP benefits anymore.
Exactly. This ain't the end of the world. It's the end of entitlement. Either evolve or expire.
So, with that being said, there's a lot of cuts and a lot of elimination. Warning come before destruction. I've been saying it for months. That's why I'm stating, please get in these programs, get the education, come up with a plan B. Faith without works is dead. So you need to start working on your plan B, start working on your education, whatever, because if you're ever in a situation, you want to be able to provide for you and your children.
And that's the point. It ain't about policies or pity, it's about power. The same system that gave you comfort, take it back before breakfast. Build a system they can't repossess. That's the part nobody wants to talk about. This isn't about rent or vouchers, it's about what happens when dependency becomes an identity. The free ride always ends with the bill, and this time the invoice got America's name on it. If you like this breakdown, hit the like button, drop your thoughts below, and binge watch the playlist down in the description, because the next one is going to give you an even deeper into the collapse of the comfort culture. See you on the next chaos.